Becky Lydon, I'm founder of Sensory Spectacle. This video is part of a series where I'm answering your questions about sensory processing difficulties. I've been given questions from parents and professionals, and it's all to help create a better understanding and awareness of sensory processing difficulties. Share the videos with your friends and families and colleagues, but also subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss any. Okay, so our third video in our winter series of home life is all about shopping. So it's something that we all do. Winter, Christmas, New Year, there's lots of opportunities for us to go out shopping, and for people with sensory processing difficulties there's many reasons as to why they might absolutely love going shopping or find it maybe a little bit overwhelming, or you recognise that there's characteristics, things that they're doing in order to help them to regulate and to be able to feel okay while you're shopping. So let's consider some of the sensory aspects when we're going shopping. Music, sound, there's going to be lots of Christmas music playing in every single shop, and don't forget they all pretty much play the same song, so there's going to be that continuous musical input, which for some people who are hypersensitive to sound may be really overwhelming. So you might recognise covering their ears, putting their fingers in their ears, maybe speaking really loudly, maybe humming, doing something to try and regulate out those sounds. Now don't forget there's going to be lots of people as well, and those people are going to be creating sounds. They're also going to be creating that visual input and change as well. So for someone who's hypersensitive to visual information, that constant change in the things that they're seeing around them might be really overwhelming. So you might recognise that they keep their head down, that they like to focus on something else. Maybe they have their hood up, maybe they're doing something to reduce that visual input. We need to remember that we can support these sensory difficulties by focusing on a different sensory system or giving them something which we know that they find supportive. So for some people, ear defenders, for other people, headphones with their own music in. It might be they wear sunglasses, it might be that they like wearing a hat. Otherwise it might be that they have something with them which comforts them. So it might be something that they can stretch and squidge and pull. It might be something that they can read, so a book, or look at pictures, or do some colouring. So we can support people with sensory processing difficulties while we're shopping as well. Now at Christmas there's also going to be lots of decorations and lots of lights, so don't forget the visual distraction from shadows, from reflections. It can be incredibly painful for some people with visual hypersensitivities when there's reflective surfaces, when there's metallic surfaces that are really patterned and shiny. Now also visually, let's think about the shelves. So when we're in a shop and there's loads of products for sale, which at Christmas there always is, constant things on the shelves, but all of those items also create a lot of visual input. So we need to remember that that can be really distracting, and it might be really overwhelming for some people as well. So whether someone's walking, whether someone's being pushed in a chair, don't forget that that visual change as they're moving can be overwhelming as well. So some people might prefer to just stay in one place in the shop. It might be that when they're being pushed, their head is down, and maybe you find it a little bit harder to try and engage in a conversation or asking them their opinion on something, because the visual distraction with the movement processing difficulty, so that vestibular input, can be really difficult for them to organise. So they're prioritising what they're aware of being distracted of, which is the visual change, but also that movement input. So they're focusing just on one place to feel okay. Now don't forget smells. There's lots of lovely Christmassy smells, but there's also going to be lots of perfumes and other products which we know can be incredibly distracting and overwhelming, and we have people with SPD that describe to us that perfumes can make them feel sick and can be really distracting and create headaches and feel uncomfortable, and we know that we process smell in the emotional part of our brain. So therefore, for some people that might find it difficult to recognise or regulate their emotions, we might recognise a response to that overwhelming sensation from the smell as a physical reaction to an emotion. So it might be that they just want to remove themselves from that space, so they might run away. It might be that they push something away from them because it's really overwhelming for them, and that's their most immediate way of being able to tell you or whoever it is around them that that's really difficult for them. Think about the clothing that you go shopping in. Temperatures can be really cold outside, but then shops can be really warm. So try and be aware of, if someone has difficulties regulating their temperature, how can you support them through the clothing that they wear as well? And therefore, don't forget that tactile input as well. If you know someone is hypersensitive to tactile input or find it really difficult to wear certain kind of textures on their skin, how can you support that when they're going shopping as well? My top tips would be, keep your shopping to short, sharp intervals, have lots of regular breaks, change the environment, get outside, do something natural. But then also, if you want to shop online, that removes the music, it removes possibly lots of people having their opinions on what you're choosing. But don't forget, you can be easily distracted and overwhelmed with the visual input from shopping online. You'll have adverts popping up with other choices. So find a way of shopping that supports you or your child's needs and go with that.